guys, this is Nandini at Surviving Medical School 101 and welcome back to what has been the most requested video on this channel. That's right, today we are going to be continuing with our How to Study in Medical School series with second year subjects, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about what books, resources and study techniques I use to study pathology. Pathology is the most important subject, not just in your second year, but I would say in the entirety of your medical school life. Why? Because pathology is medicine. Path, or the science behind how and why a disease occurs, is the linchpin of your medical education. Irrespective of what specialization you choose to pursue, excelling in path is key to becoming a good doctor and diagnostician. Only if you can properly understand and grasp the intricacies behind how and why a disease occurs will you be able to correlate all the symptoms and reach a correct diagnosis, thereby being able to treat your patients efficiently. Now that we have established the importance of pathology in the life of a medical student, let's jump right into this video. This video is going to be divided into two parts. First, I'm going to be talking about the various books and resources for pathology that are available. I'll be discussing their pros and cons and hopefully be able to guide you to find the ideal textbook for your studying style. And in the second half of the video, I'm going to be talking about the strategies and study techniques that I use to study pathology. So clearly I have a lot of ground to cover, and because of that this video is going to be slightly long. However, I am going to be inserting timestamps in the description bar, so if you want to skip to a specific part of the video, you can feel free to do so. And now without further ado, let's find out how to study pathology in medical school. So let's start off by discussing what textbooks and core material are available in the market for studying pathology. The first series of textbooks that I want to talk about are the most popular and well-known textbooks for pathology. Of course, I'm talking about Robbins. Now, Robbins is a set of 3 textbooks, also casually or informally referred to as Big Robbins, Medium Robbins and Small Robbins. Which is which and what are they meant for? So let's start off by discussing about Big Robbins, also sometimes known as Father Robbins. Yes, I'm talking about Robbins and Cotrans' Pathologic Basis of Diseases. Now this book comes in 2 volumes. Volume 1 is General Pathology, whereas Volume 2 covers Systemic Pathology. And as you can probably make out, this book is ginormous. Now Big Robbins is also considered the Bible for pathology, and a lot of professors and masters of the subject believe that this is the premier textbook for path. I have read this, and yes, I would tend to agree that this is a very comprehensive text, and if you can manage to read it from cover to cover, well, hats off to you. However, I couldn't. Why? Mainly because of the huge and vast nature of this book. I mean, this book is a freaking giant. It's called Big Robbins for a reason. I, like every other medical student coming into second year, did get sucked into the hype of Big Robbins, and I tried to use this as my primary textbook for about a month or 2. However, I realized fairly quickly that was a very inefficient way of studying path. Firstly, because it would take me ages to complete one chapter, and even after putting in all of that effort and time into completing that chapter, once I got to the end of the chapter, I realized that I had retained maybe 50% or even less of the information, and that is mainly because of the diffuse nature in which this book is written. So because of all of these reasons, I would definitely advise you against using Father Robbins as your primary textbook. I think that this is a fantastic reference book, and I mainly used it for extra reading if I wanted to, know more about a certain topic, or even to clear out difficult concepts. Now, I'm not saying that this is not a good textbook by any means, just that it is so huge that it's pretty much impossible to get through, and that there are other easier and more efficient ways of studying path. Don't get me wrong, guys, I do love Father Robbins, however, more so as a reference text. For those of you who insist on using Big Robbins as your primary textbook, I would definitely advise you to make notes for every chapter, because come exam time, trying to revise from Big Robbins is a nightmare. I have seen a couple of my friends go through that, and trust me guys, I would not wish that on anybody. Moving on to Medium Robbins and Small Robbins. Now, I have personally never used these textbooks, so I do not have them to show you, but I'm going to try to link some pictures on the screen. Doc Osare, who's a very famous medical YouTuber and my inspiration, his advice in fact has never steered me wrong, and he swears by Medium Robbins. Also, the reviews that I've heard from students who have used this textbook is that it is definitely a much more compact version of Big Robbins and therefore much easier to retain. The reason why I never found any use for it and I never bought it is because I had already discovered my Holy Grail textbook, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. However, if you are still undecided, then definitely go to your nearest libraries or bookstores and check it out and see if it is for you. And finally, Baby Robbins or Small Robbins, which is the pocket companion. This is actually a last minute quick revision type of book, and to be very honest, I had always planned on buying it as my exam neared. However, when that happened, I realized that fortunately I had found my perfect and ideal combination of textbooks and I did not want to disturb that. But I have heard nothing but good reviews about it. So if you are interested, then yes, I would definitely suggest that you do check it out. Moving on to the textbook that I'm the most excited about introducing to you guys. Yes, I'm talking about my Holy Grail textbook for pathology, Ramdas Nayak's General and Systemic Pathology. Now, this book is beyond wonderful, you guys. I mean, I absolutely love this. And the reason behind that is that this is pretty much the reason why I fell in love with Pathology, in fact, became my favorite subject in second year. And over and above that, I really excelled in Path throughout the year. Be it practicals, internal exams, or my university exams, I did really well. And all of the credit for that goes to this book. Now, I'm sure you guys might be wondering why that is. What makes this book so special? To be very honest, guys, the reason why this book stands out from the sea of other textbooks out there is that this is pretty much Big Robbins in disguise. I mean, I shouldn't be saying this, but I am surprised that this author is not sued for plagiarism. Don't get me wrong, I am very glad that he isn't, because I absolutely love this text. Most professors are going to tell you that you need to know all of the information in Big Robbins, and guess what? That's exactly what this is. I challenge you guys, go to your nearest bookstores or library, flip open to any chapter in Ramdas, open the same chapter in Big Robbins and compare the two. You're going to realize pretty quickly that Ramdas is Big Robbins in disguise. Only it is much better organized. And the reason why Ramdas, as you can tell, is half the size of Big Robbins is not because it is missing any information. The only reason why this book is more compact is because it is not as repetitive and diffuse as Big Robbins, which actually makes it more digestible and retainable. Also, this book is filled with illustrations. All the pathogenesis are in flowchart form with a clearly laid out sequence of events. And the biggest point that makes this book work is that it's concise, to the point, and high yield nature makes all concepts super easy to grasp and retain. In fact, I have recommended Ramdas to numerous classmates and juniors, and I kid you not, guys, I have not yet heard one negative review about it. Anyone and everyone who has tried this book has pretty much fallen in love with it. And the best part about this is that the PDF of this book is available freely online. And so I actually am requesting you guys, please do definitely, give this a shot, and I promise you will not regret it. My edition, as you can tell, is pretty much falling apart because that is how much I have used this. I used to annotate in this book heavily, and as you can see, there are like post-its on almost every page, and that is exactly how much I love this. If out of all the textbooks out there, I can just recommend one to you guys, if you have to invest in only one textbook, then that would definitely be Ramdas Nayak. And this is not just for Indian students, but irrespective of whether you're an Indian medical student or an international medical student, I am urging you guys, please give this a shot, try it, and I guarantee you're gonna fall in love with it. Now, very quickly, I want to talk about one last textbook, which is Harsh Mohan's textbook for pathology. Now, this is a pretty popular textbook in India, and for good reason. It's a pretty well-written text that is easy to understand and comprehend and covers all the important topics. and definitely this book is much more compact and digestible in comparison to Big Robbins. However, in my opinion, Ramdas is a tad bit more superior. I used to actually use Harsh Mohan before I found Ramdas, and it is a good text, definitely. It is pretty well written, like I already said, and the language is easy, it is graspable, it's retainable. However, ever since I found Ramdas, my Harsh Mohan has pretty much been sitting untouched, and I think that speaks for itself. I mean, don't get me wrong guys, this is a good textbook, no doubt. But like I said, in my mind, Ramdas is a tad bit better. Now, while textbooks are definitely a very important resource for understanding and grasping any course, when it comes to pathology, they are by no means the end all. There are in fact a lot of other resources out there that you can use to help supplement your understanding of the subject. And one such resource that I absolutely have to mention is a series of visual aids known as Pathoma. Now, Pathoma is a lecture series by Dr. Hussain Sattar, who is a professor of pathology in Pritzker Medical School in the University of Chicago. He is an amazing teacher, and what he has done is that he has recorded and digitized all of his lectures of pathology, and he markets them from his website pathoma.com. Now, you can purchase his lectures from his website pathoma.com, and I believe currently the price is around $85 US. And when you purchase his package, what you would get is his entire lecture series, which is hours and hours of invaluable patho knowledge, as well as this book known as The Fundamentals of Pathology, which is a very concise, high yield and amazing book. Now, on its own, this textbook is good, but along with the videos, it is phenomenal. Now, basically, this book is his lecture notes. So as and when you're watching the videos, you do not have to worry about pausing the video every 2 seconds and jotting down the notes. That is already done for you in form of this book. So all you have to do is concentrate, imbibe the knowledge, and as and when required, annotate. And the best part about this is that now Dr. Sattar also offers a trial version on his website in which you can watch up to 6 videos for free, and after that take a call as to whether or not you want to purchase this package. Guys, I am in no ways affiliated to Pathoma or Dr. Sattar. Hell, they don't even know I exist. The only reason why I'm raving so much about this textbook and this video series is because I genuinely love it that much. Now, the combination of the videos along with this book is an absolute must-have in my opinion, and this is pretty much one of the best investments that I have made in medical school. We all have those evenings when, you're not really in a mood to study, and that is where the beauty of Pathoma lies. This is an amazing tool for those days when you know that you have to study, but you're just for some reason not in the mood to go the conventional route and open the textbook. All you have to do is play the video on your laptop, listen and imbibe the knowledge. Yes, it is slightly pricey, but in my opinion, it is worth every penny. And I strongly urge you to go and try it out, and I know that you guys are not going to regret it. Now, we have talked about textbooks and we have talked about visual aids like pre-recorded lectures. Another very important resource when it comes to studying pathology are review material. And the 2 books that I want to talk about today are absolutely irreplaceable and you cannot do without them. The first and most important one is Rapid Review by Goljan. Now, this book is a must-have. Like the name suggests, Goljan reviews every topic and gives you the take-home message, as well as the high-yield concepts that you absolutely have to know. It's called the Rapid Review. Therefore, obviously, it's not meant to be a primary textbook. But at the same time, that does not mean that you can do without this. Yes, guys, this book is that good. A quick tip, if you guys can get your hands on the corresponding Goljan videos, which are slightly harder to find, and use them in conjunction with this book, well, you would pretty much be hitting the jackpot of pathology revision. And the second book that I want to talk about is Robbins and Cotrans Review of Pathology. Yes, this is by the same author as Big Robbins, and this is basically a question bank filled with high-yield MCQs. The questions in this book are not straightforward and you really need to have your concepts clear in order to solve them. So this is specifically a book more geared towards those of you who are interested in clearing the USMLE and doing, preparing for that kind of an exam. If you can manage to solve a concept from this book, be rest assured that your concepts are crystal clear. Did you think we are done? Not even close. We still have one more category of textbooks to talk about, which is hematology. Now, hemat is a part and parcel of pathology, but a lot of standard textbooks do not cover hematology as efficiently and comprehensively as we need to know as medical students. So very quickly, a couple of good resources are, first of all, the hemat section in Mohan is beyond fantastic. In fact, looking back, if I could do things differently, I probably would have just photocopied the hematology chapters from Mohan and not actually bought the whole book. The hemat section is that good. And moving on to two other textbooks, I quickly want to mention are the Rapid Review of Hematology by Ramdas, as well as Essentials of Hematology and Clinical Pathology by Ramdas. Yes, both of these textbooks are authored by the same author as my Holy Grail textbook, which is Ramdas. And in my opinion, both of these textbooks are really good. The only difference is the way in which they are formatted and, the writing style of the books. The Rapid Review is bulleted and it's much more, concise. Whereas Essentials of Hematology is a little bit more, comprehensive and vast, and a little bit of, it's still bulleted, but I feel like this is more of a paragraph style. And my personal favorite is the Rapid Review, but I think that does depend on your learning style. So if you're debating between the two, I would definitely suggest that you go through both and choose whatever works best for your learning style. Now, moving on to the second section of this video, which is how did I study pathology and what study techniques and strategies did I use? Now, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I kept it very simple. Whenever I was doing a new topic, the first thing that I would do is go and watch the corresponding video from Pathoma and also have the lecture notes open and annotate as and when required. Once I had listened to Dr. Sattar's lecture and I had a fairly good grasp of what that chapter contained, I would then go and read the chapter from Ramdas. Now, you guys already saw that I would annotate I annotated heavily in Ramdas and added post-its as and when I required. However, over and above that, for certain topics that had a complicated pathogenesis or etiology, what I did was I made a mind map. And what that helps you do is that schematically laying out that information definitely helps you, understand it. First of all, you can understand the concept much more easily, specifically in case of like complicated or multifactorial pathogenesis. And secondly, it is really helpful in terms of retaining the knowledge, which is, I think, paramount importance when you're studying. One thing I do want to mention is that I never really made notes when it came to pathology, because like I have already mentioned, I used Ramdas as my primary textbook, and that is already a notes format of big Robbins. So making notes of notes, in my opinion, would be a little bit redundant. But yes, I made multiple mind maps, and I used to just like make them on loose sheets of paper like this, and then put them inside my book. So Pathoma plus Ramdas were my primary resource. However, come exam time, I did try to use Goljan. To be honest though, I did not always use Goljan for revising my concepts before exams, because most times I felt that it was easier to revise from the textbook which I had studied in the first place, and that was a little bit more time saving in my opinion. Yes, I did use Goljan once in a while in second year. However, for the most part, I like to keep it really simple. Pathoma plus Ramdas was pretty much my winning combination. And I didn't really, and because of this, I didn't really require a lot of additional help because my concepts were pretty much clear. But if I did, for certain topics which I found a little bit tough or I wanted to know a little bit more about, like I have already mentioned previously, I used big Robbins as my reference material. So that is how I studied pathology. Now let's go over this very quickly one more time. Watch the lecture videos from Pathoma. Read the topics from Ramdas and make mind maps wherever required. Use Big Robbins as a reference material in case you find a topic difficult to understand or want to do some extra reading. And before exams, review and revise that topic from Goljan. Now that is all for this video, guys. I hope you found it helpful, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions or queries, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, or you can email me. My email address is going to be on the screen as well as linked in the description box. If you did like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also I would love to have you as a subscriber. So if you haven't already, please click on the red subscribe button so that you get notified every time I post a new video. I'm also pretty active on Instagram and Snapchat. My Insta and Snap IDs are on the screen as well as they're going to be linked in the description box. So I would absolutely be delighted if you guys could come and join me there. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm going to see you guys next time. Hope you have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.